Hello everyone, this is Sunny and I'm coming to you with You'll Learn to Love Me, a Yandere Masky X-Reader by FluffyWubs. We're going to be starting off with Chapter 37. Sounds painfully awkward, Samantha laughed a bit, throwing the covers back over my legs. We did a few more leg exercises and just a little bit more walking practice and that's it. I sigh, leaning back in my pillow. I had to tell someone what happened and get their thoughts on it too, so who else to talk to than Samantha? It's been a while since I've had a girl-on-girl talk. I don't know what to do, I confess in a sigh, tucking a loose strand of hair behind my ear. Sam purses her lips as she gives Whiskers on the bed a few gentle pats. How do you feel? She asks. Huh? About him. Oh. I bite my inner lip. How do I feel about him? I mean, I don't have any type of feelings for him besides just friendship, right? Right? Besides, even if I did have any other type of feelings for him, what would Masky think? Better yet, why am I so worried about what Masky would think? Masky isn't here. He hasn't been here for days. I shouldn't worry. I shouldn't even be thinking about him at all. At this point, I've given up on him, really. I'm most likely no use to him anymore. My legs are weakened, I'm defenseless, and just weak in general. No wonder he hasn't come back. Earth to YN, a tan hand waved in front of my view, making me snap out of my thoughts. I sheepishly smile, letting out a short giggle. Sorry. I apologize. I was just thinking. Samantha hums at my response. Don't worry about it. Anyway, how long has he been gone for? She asks, fixing the collar of her shirt around her neck. He's been long for a long time now. He hasn't even come back to check on Whiskers, surprisingly. About half an hour, I respond. Frowning while staring at the clock. I hope I didn't hurt his feelings or anything like that. I mean, I didn't mean to push him. It was just a reflex. Uh-oh. Samantha clicks her tongue once. That's bad news. He can't keep running off like that. I mean, I already forgave him, didn't I? I feel Whiskers shift in the little dent he made in the covers between my legs. He lets out a big yawn, stretching out his little paws in front of him, showing off his sharp claws. Well, maybe he's just embarrassed about this whole ordeal. Don't stress it too much. You did nothing wrong. Samantha reassuringly pats my thigh and smiles. I lightly laugh. Yeah, probably. I smile. The bubbly nurse grins before clearing her throat. I need to attend to others now. I'll see you in a few hours, okay? Samantha titters, walking her way out the door. I quickly wave at her before she disappears out of the room, and that was nice. It's nice to be able to tell your problems to someone. I relax my back onto the pillow behind me, shutting my eyes and letting out a sigh. I can't believe how much has happened these past couple of weeks. I got kidnapped, dragged into danger, and have been suffering all the way through. It all started with one simple person. I take a deep breath, reopening my eyes before exhaling. I wish I never met him. I wish I never met Tim, or Masky, or whatever. I wish I would have just stuck to my usual route, sleep, work, eat, repeat. My life would be so much easier. I wouldn't have gotten into this mess in the first place if I just ignored him from the start. I started shaking even without noticing. Is it because I'm angry, sad, cold? I don't know. It could be all of those options. I suddenly heard the door creak open, making my hands shoot over to Whiskers in case it was another nurse. Fortunately for me, I could safely expose Whiskers since it was Lou who had entered the room. Surprisingly. I felt relieved once I saw him enter, making me smile slightly, though my smile was quickly replaced by a frown once I noticed his expression. He looked oddly pale and his eyes held a nervous stare. I hope it's not because of me. Lou, where'd you go? I barely finished my sentence when Lou grabbed Whiskers into his arms while he shook his backpack off his shoulders. Whiskers didn't even bother to struggle, of course. It was his owner, after all. The small cat obliged as he got placed into the backpack. I need to leave, Lou simply states, closing up his backpack before lightly pushing the strap back over his shoulder. Again? He just comes in out of nowhere without an explanation and leaves again? Hey, wait! I try to call out for him before I can say anything else. He's already out the door. I'm left speechless, dumbfounded, and disappointed. The fact that he left and left no proper goodbye besides those 4 words made me dejected. No more Whiskers to keep me company, and no more Lou nor Helen to watch over me. Would Lou come back tomorrow? He didn't say anything, and I hope he comes back and doesn't leave me like Masky did. Damn it, why do all these things have to happen to me? I should distract myself for the time being, and just to get my mind off of things. Have you ever had a boyfriend, Wyan? The scribbling on paper could be heard as Cece had the tip of her tongue slightly poking out of her lips in concentration before asking the question. The little girl decided to come to my room instead of me going to hers, and she sat on the end of my bed, her legs being crossed over each other as a piece of paper full of colorful scribbles sat on her lap. I can't help but laugh a bit at her straightforward question. Some kids are just too cute. Yes, I had one, I smile. Cece shortly looks up from her drawing and smiles brightly. Me too. His name is Ricky, and we're getting married when we're older. We even kissed. Cece trails off as looks to the closed door as if anyone could walk in at any moment. She leans into me and with the tiniest whisper she adds, "On the lips," and I snicker, ruffling the top of her head. Cute. You two must be a happy couple, huh? I question. Cece hums in approval, dropping the crayon she had in her hand onto the bed. Uh-huh. Too bad he doesn't come to see me often. He's probably very busy with school, she states. Oh, poor girl. I still can't get over the fact that she barely gets any visitors from her family nor friends. At least she's got me. I gotta go now. Dinner time is almost here, Cece states as she carefully climbs off the bed, placing her feet on the floor. She grabs the paper off the bed and places it in my lap. Here, for you, she giggles as she grabs the crayons she had left behind on the bed. I take a quick skim over the paper and smile. 2 stick figures were holding hands under a big rainbow and a big field of green. One arrow was pointed to the taller stick figure, which had my name. The other arrow, which pointed to the shorter stick figure, had Cece's name. I smile broadly. Little things like this just warms up my heart. Thank you, Cece. It looks beautiful. I beam happily, placing the drawing back down on my lap. The young girl grins, shyly rocking on her heels. I'm happy you like it. I'm gonna go now. I'll see you tomorrow. Cece makes her way towards the door. Bye, Ryan. She waves her little hand from side to side as I return the gesture before she leaves the room. The door is shut behind her as I sigh. She's so adorable. I cannot get over her. And I'm not the type of person that likes kids that much. Cece is an exception here. I look down at the drawing once more, smiling in joy before I place it on top of one of the stands next to my bed. How late is it? If it's dinner time, it must be around 6 or 7 p.m. I usually ate Helen's meals at 8 p.m. as dinner, but I guess the hospital gives you your meal a lot earlier. And speak of the devil, just as I was thinking about food, Samantha walks in with a tray in her hands of obviously distasteful hospital food. Even she knows the food is absolutely terrible. She heads over to my bed and gently places the tray on my lap. Enjoy your meal. I'll come get it once you're finished. She lightly nods her head at the tray as I quietly thank her before she leaves the room. I grab the plastic fork that was provided with the food and curiously eye what I got today. Looks like white, plain rice alongside some vegetarian curry. The rice looked fine, not how I usually liked it, but looked edible enough. The curry, however, had a strange tint to it. I don't know if it's because it might be old or because it has been reheated for the 100th time. Either way, I'm still eating it because I sure am starving. After finishing up my meal, it was sleeping time, the time where I'm all alone with my deepest, darkest thoughts. And now that I'm all alone in my dark room, I feel vulnerable. The room feels oddly colder without anyone watching over me. Not only that, but I can't seem to find a comfortable spot to sleep in. I'm a bit more able to move my legs like I want to, unlike before, but every movement still gives me a sting in my legs, so I don't move them too much. I lift myself up a bit, enough to fluff out the pillow I was laying on before plopping back down. Damn this hospital bed, couldn't they make the mattresses at least a bit more softer? I close my eyes and breathe out. If I just keep my eyes shut, I'll fall asleep eventually. And just like expected, I fell into dreamland in a matter of seconds. I didn't even realize how tired I actually felt until my eyes started to get droopy. I was enjoying my good night's sleep, and that is until I felt a cold breeze hit my back. I shiver, pulling the covers up to my shoulders. I can still feel that cold breeze, and it feels like I'm literally sleeping outside. I tiredly peer over my shoulder, only to notice the window where the moonlight shone in from, halfway open. I furrow my brows, rubbing my eyes before letting out a yawn. Did I ever open the window? Maybe I'm just too tired to remember. Before I was able to get up from the bed, I feel something leathery slam around my mouth, keeping me silent. My eyes shoot open as I'm fully awoken by whatever was happening. What if it's another nightmare, just like the ones I had before? Relax, Ryan, relax. It's just a dream. Nothing is going on. You'll wake up sooner or later. I try to steady my breathing as I screw my eyes shut, hoping to wake up as soon as possible. No scream, no struggle. What a good little mouse. I know that voice all too well, but he's not real. He's not really here. Still, do I dare to open my eyes? I slowly flutter my eyes open, making my gaze meet with a pair of brown irises behind some orange-tinted goggles. I blink repeatedly, hoping for him to leave, and no matter what, he stayed in this spot. And my heart started accelerating as I came to my final conclusion. He's here, he's really here, and he's probably going to finish me off once and for all. How did he know I was here? I don't know, and I don't want to think about that now. I shoot my hand over to the button to call the nurse, but before I could even find it, he gripped my wrist with his other hand, pinning it beside my body. I started to panic, trying to thrash out of his grip. I tried to scream, yet my pitiful cries were muffled by his leather glove. A train of curses flew out of his mouth as he realized I was starting to put up a fight, and I felt him crawl onto the bed on top of me, keeping my legs down under his weight whilst keeping one of my wrists pinned and keeping my mouth shut. I was already crying out of sheer fear as the goggled male leaned down. "I'm here to talk, doll, nothing more," he hushed lowly. My body was trembling, and I couldn't bring myself to scream nor fight anymore. I can't do anything in this situation. He might as well make it quick. "I'm slowly letting you go. Don't scream, and don't do anything you might regret. Am I clear?" His deadened voice spoke, making me vigorously nod. He stared at me for a couple of seconds, slowly removing his hand from my mouth and his grip from my wrist. He climbed off the bed and stuffed his hands in his pockets, looking as casual and relaxed as ever. I, on the other hand, was terrified. I pushed myself up into a sitting position ever so slowly, clearly showing him that I'm not going to bother to put up a fight. I let out a shaky breath, staring him right in the eyes through those goggles of his. "What do you want?" I try to make my voice firm and confident as I can, but obviously fail. My eyes were still tearing up, and my body was still trembling for no reason. I see Toby's mouthguard tilt up from the smile, signifying that he's smiling. "I just wanted to say sorry for what I did." "Sorry? Sorry? Is he trying to apologize for trying to kill me and mutilate me?" And just as I was about to yell at him, he continued. "I was trying to put you out of your misery before Masky does so himself." He shrugs his shoulders. I wasn't really paying attention to his sentence, but Masky's name caught my attention. "What, Masky? What do you mean?" I swallow nervously, clutching the covers on my lap. I hear Toby let out a soft yet exaggerating gasp. "Oh, you don't know? No wonder," he says. "I don't know if it's a good idea to tell you, though. I would want to ruin the beautiful relationship between you and him." He hummed, innocently rocking back and forth on the heels of his feet. I furrow my brows. Something is going on and I'm not liking it. "Tell me." I was starting to get a bit more confident in myself and my words. Toby chuckled a bit. "If you insist." He inches closer to the bed, more specifically to me. "Masky's been hiding a dirty little secret from you." His words ended in a childish giggle, almost resembling one of a teasing kid. "A secret? What kind of secret? There isn't really anything else he's hiding, right?" "He has?" I blurred out questioningly. Maybe he's lying, but maybe not. He's associated with Masky, isn't he? I should just listen to what he has to say. "Oh, definitely. Those poor girls never saw it coming." He sighed sadly, as if he had some sympathy left in his cold, hardened soul. "Girls? Can he just stop sugarcoating it and just tell me already? You know what he does? You know who he really is, little mouse?" He questions, straightening his back. I give him a questioning stare. "He lures women just like you." Toby flicked the tip of his nose with his index finger, making me flinch. "To fall for him, first he makes you believe he's into you, you know, taking care of you, protecting you from others, yada yada." Toby rolls his eyes shortly. "Then once you start to gain feelings for him, that's when he strikes." Toby explains almost too cheerfully. I don't even know what I'm hearing, but I'm already starting to feel sick. "He violates these women and keeps them as sex slaves." Toby pauses to look at me, most likely to see my fearful reaction to his words. "He fucks them until they are nothing but a mere corpse. Hell, I'll fuck that corpse until it's rotten." Toby shrugs his shoulders. "And once he's done, he dumps their bodies somewhere and moves on to the next lady. And that so happens to be you, doll." I can clearly hear the grin in his voice as he places a gloved hand on my cheek, and I feel even more sick. My stomach is starting to churn and suddenly wanting to spew out the dinner I had before. Sometimes, if he gets too impatient, he'll kill the girl himself and do whatever he pleases with the body. Just some information I thought you'd want to know. He teasingly pokes my cheek before stuffing his hands back into his pockets. I don't know what to think. Is this true? I mean, it has to be. This is coming from one of his acquaintances. "I came here to give you an offer, though," Toby states. I swallow back the bile that wanted to come out just by imagining the gruesome things Toby told me about, and I look over to his direction before seeing him chuckle. "Come with me, and I'll keep you safe. I tried to get you off this cruel world, but that didn't work. Still, I'll give you some time to think." He beams. I look down to my lap and furrow my brows. Is Masky really like that? I mean, it really does seem like he loves me, but from what Toby told me, it could all be a trick. Just like how he tricked me into thinking he was just an ordinary guy named Tim. "Masky loves me." I stayed a bit unsure, twisting the fabric of the covers in my hands. I hear Toby scoff audibly. "Yeah, that's what the other girls thought too," he retorts along with a roll of his eyes. After he noticed my silence, that was his cue to leave. "Well, I'll leave you to decide." He speaks cheerfully as he walks back to the window he entered from, and as he swung a leg over the ledge, he paused for a few seconds. "Oh, and that Lou guy?" He starts, making me snap my head towards him. Not Lou, he's not a bad guy, is he? He murdered his own girlfriend in cold blood, he states slowly before grinning. See you soon, little mouse. He climbs out the window and closes it. I still need to process everything. That is the end of that chapter. The chapter to that one is chapter 38. Ooh-wee, that is a lot to take in. Lovely. Flabbergasted is how I feel currently. Jesus. Oh my god. I don't even know how to feel about that. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next chapter. On another cliffhanger. Lovely. Also, sorry, my brain is kind of like dead right now. I did a little bit of a longer shift today at work, so I'm kind of like TV static brained right now. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will see you guys in the next episode. And until next time, bye-bye.